Hi everyone, Transformers Fan 5000 here. So, this is going to be a completely unedited video. I've got some background music in the background. It's a Peace Piper's ambience. This is being recorded on December 20th. So, this is going to be probably released around New Year, before the end of 2023. In this video, we're going to be talking about 2023 in a review, what's to come for 2024, and End of Days Part 2. I made this sort of video at the end of 2022, and in fact no, it actually came out at the start of 2023, and it's gonna be a similar sort of video. This isn't gonna be my typical sort of video. I've got some things to discuss, so if I'm looking off the camera or if I'm looking at the floor, just bear with me because I've got some things to discuss, okay? And this is, like I said, it's unedited. So this is raw footage, apart from the background ambience, just so I can hear it. Apart from that, it's going to be unedited. I don't know whether this is going to be a 10-minute video. I don't know if it's going to be a 15, 20, 30-minute video. I don't know. I'm going to try not to talk too long, but... So, 2023 in a review. In fact, firstly, let's get some positives out of the way. 2024, what's that going to hold? That's going to hold a lot of stop motions, expanded universe stories, and End of Days Part 2. I'm going to get End of Days Part 2 done this year. For End of Days Part 2, I've pretty much filmed it all. There are three big fights. And when I say big fights, one of them is... I'll give you a little teaser for you all, okay? Because I know I'm not giving you End of Days content, and let me give you a little teaser of what to expect. So, the first fight is going to be a bit of a short one, but with a lot of characters involved. The second big fight is a long fight. Imagine like the space battle in Part 1, how that was like one big long extended fight that lasted about 10-15 minutes or something. Imagine that with loads of characters, not the same characters, but imagine that sort of scale. That's what I mean. There's a lot of characters fighting, there's a lot going off, and it lasts quite a decent amount of time. A little teaser, we may see some Dinobots in action. The third big fight is it's not going to be a long fight, but it's going to be a pretty heavy one. It's one that's been building up. I'm going to say no more, but I will say it's one that's been building up. So predict who you think will be on that fight. End of Days Part 2 is pretty much filmed apart from those three fight scenes. I've got to edit everything, but I mean, with most of it filmed anyway, it shouldn't be too much of a hassle, so I don't have to film all of it. Part 3 of End of Days, I don't think that's going to be too bad. There's a couple big scenes, but I don't think End of Days Part 3 is going to be too bad. I want to get, ideally, Part 2 and 3 out 2023. Well, I've failed at that. Unless I can get Part 2 and 3 out in the next few days. But no, all in all, I want to get End of Days Part 2 and 3 done in 2024. End of Days Part 1 took a year to make, but that was because a lot of it was green screened. End of Days Part 2 and 3, yeah, there'll be some green screen, but a lot of it's practical. So it's taking a weight off my shoulders, because although practical sets take time to set up, once you've filmed it, that's it. You've just got to add effects in, like gunfire, sparks, explosions, and that's it. Whereas if you green screen something, you film it quickly, but post-production is... oh, it can be a nightmare. So it's a bit of a 50-50 with filming. So yeah, part 2 and 3 I'm hoping to get 2024. Part 4, 5 and 6 of End of Days, I'm not sure. Part 4 is... I don't think part 4 is too bad. Part 5 is very short and sweet. Part 5, I can knock it out of the park pretty quick when I get to it. Part 6, yeah. When I get around to filming that, I'm going to regret some of the ideas I came up with, because, wow. As soon as End of Days is done, that's when I'm going to go on to season 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and maybe 12. I know how I want my series to end. I've got it. I've not written it, but I've got it in my head, and I know how it's going to end. There's a few Expanded Universe stories that I've sort of cancelled. When I say a few, I mean like 1 or 2. Nothing even major. I'm sure you as the audience would love to see it, but me as a storyteller, I am making the decision not to make it, and I'll tell you what that idea is actually. Basically, after Space Chase, when we find out that, you know, Swerve's been left on that planet, Axor and Hound's been taken by Garnak and Kortork, who are up in the shelf there. After they've been taken away, and Swerve's just left there, we're going to make a project called the Shudders, which is actually what Kortork says. He says, this planet gives me the shudders. Like, basically the equivalent of the shivers. You know, something not quite right on that planet. So I was going to make an Expanded Universe. It would only be like a minute or 2 long, called The Shudders. And it was basically going to be Swerve waking up, and he looks around, and the planet isn't what it was before. So we saw it where it was all bright, and all the sky was nice, and everything like that. And, you know, we saw space. It isn't like that. And because a storm has come, and it's nightfall, Swerve wakes up, it's a different planet, different atmosphere. It's a scary thing. And he wakes up and he sees something. I'm not gonna say if it's something or someone, like whatever. It could be one or the other, it could be both. But Swerve sees something that terrifies him, and he just gets out of there. He runs and runs and runs. He finds a hiding spot in like a little cave thing. Because with a lot of rock formation on that planet, and he hides in like a cave, and then this ominous soundtrack, and it all builds, and then it cuts. So I was gonna make that, but I'm not. You know, maybe when I ever complete my universe, if I ever think, actually, I'd like to have a go at that. And if everyone wants to see it, then maybe I'll make it. But at this point, I feel it would take away from what the future holds. But that's a cancelled story for you. As for 2024, what that holds, I've already said End of Days Part 2 and 3, hopefully. Definitely Part 2. Expanded Universe, I know what I want to do now, and I don't mean in terms of stop motion, I mean in terms of a channel. 2022 and 2023, I balanced a lot of things. These are stuff like Studio Selects, Movie Lore, stop motion, behind the scenes, the odd channel documentary, which I don't mind doing, but they take ages. You know, the TF Nation video took ages. The Black Apple, you can just see him there on camera. The Black Apple Optimus Prime video, that took ages. My room decoration video, that took ages. And I love doing those videos. I love the channel documentaries, but they take ages. And with Studio Selects, I know that was just changing the hue of a figure and everything like that, but that took time as well. And Movie Lore takes time. I do want to do Movie Lore because I really, really want to tell stories, because a lot of people don't know what goes on in the films, in the background, sublines, like plotline stuff. They don't know, and I'd love to bring that forward and tell people stories in the Transformers movies that you don't know exist. So I still want to do that, and also like bios, like how strong a character can hit, how hot on Optimus Prime's Energon swords can heat up to, why Blackout doesn't just do all his massive all-out attack in the Mission City like he did in Guitar. You know, there's a lot of stuff and lore that I want to talk about, and I still want to talk about them. It's just, I think, with me trying to balance a lot of different videos on my channel, it just didn't work. My energy's always been on stop motion, and I think if I go in 2024 and really focus everything on stop motion, I really think I can really nail it this year. Last year I said, my 2022 review that I posted in January this year, I said I wanted to get one stop motion out a month and one movie lore out a month. That's still sort of the plan. I want to get one stop motion out per month, one expanded universe per month. So that would mean by December 2024, I'll have 12 new expanded universe stories, hopefully on my channel. Now I know sometimes I might get a really, really big story. Like, I've got a couple expanded universe stories that are big. One of them is First Stand of the Wreckers, which I have all my lines for pretty much. I just haven't filmed anything. Because that is I think it's like an 80 or 90 page screenplay. So the way I see it is I can get a lot of my universe out, like shorter stories, and get a lot of my universe told. Whereas if I just do one big story, then it's just one big story. Sure, you get a big one out of the way, but I'd rather release little ones and get new skills, because I'm learning all the time. Get new skills, and and when it comes to the bigger projects, I can make them even better. So hopefully by 2024 December, I've got 12 new expanded universe stories out. And sometimes if I do take a little longer on a project, it might be that 2 get released in a month. If I spend 4 weeks on a project, it might be that it takes 5 weeks and it goes into the next month or something like that. So that way maybe 2 expanded universe get released in the same month. But movie lore I definitely want to do. It might be one every month or one every other month. I don't know yet. I really enjoy doing Trivia Tuesdays and Fact Fridays. The thing with shorts is, for some reason, short videos, YouTube shorts, they actually can take a while to do as well. Not long. They don't take a long time. I'm not trying to say it takes like 5 hours. It doesn't. But I think when you're trying to balance doing movie lore, YouTube shorts, behind the scenes, studio selects, you're trying to balance everything, and you just don't get time to do a stop motion. Whereas I still want to do movie lore, so I think I'm going to do that. But I'm not sure on Trivia Tuesdays, Fact Fridays. I think what I might do is do one big movie lore video per character, like Optimus Prime movie lore, Blackout movie lore, Bone Crusher movie lore. And that way I get all of that character out in one big chunk. And in the future, maybe I can release that video as like YouTube shorts, like little segments of that video, because I'll already have them recorded and I won't have to set all my equipment up. It's already a video. I can just snip segments out and make them into YouTube shorts. So maybe that's something that I can actually do. In terms of when they would come out, I don't know. Probably once a month or once every few months. I don't know. But stuff like behind the scenes for stop motion, that's gonna come when it comes, when I get around to it. And blooper reels will just be the standard. When I get some bloopers, I'll release a blooper reel. But as it goes, I want to focus all my attention on stop motion. So I'm gonna have all energy focused there. Of course, I'll always do my annual Christmas special, possibly Halloween special if I can. That's hopefully not including the one stop motion per month. So if I want to do like an annual Halloween special, then I'll also do my stop motion that I was going to do anyway. So some months I might get more than one out, but we'll have to see where that goes. So that is what's ready for 2024, and I spoke about the end of days. Right, so 2023. My gosh. Okay. Where do I start? I said last year, in January when I did the 2022 review, I said like the last few months of 2022 didn't pull any punches, and neither did this year. Trying to figure out how to word it. I'm gonna be all like this is why I'm doing it raw, unedited, so you can actually sort of see where I'm coming from. I just want to say, like, if you only watch this segment of the video, if you're going to respect me completely, and if you're going to take it seriously. I have one wish for this right now. I know I have one or two family members on YouTube, and friends who know about my YouTube account. What I'm gonna say, I don't want it sharing with people. Although I do love family and everything and friends, I don't want a family member on YouTube to watch this and share it with everyone. This is personal. I don't want this to become gossip. I don't want my friends and family to share this video and say, "Hey, look at Daniel. He's made this video. Look at it." Because if you do that, I will be very upset. Like, this is serious. I will be very upset. I don't want that to happen. And I'm not a stern person. People who know me know I'm quite friendly and honest and open. But I'm saying this with a wish that, knowing certain people watch my videos, I don't want this being shared around. By all means, message me. By all means, talk to me. But don't share it with family members. Don't share it with friends saying, look at this. Okay? So here we go. Here it goes. 2023 has been, to put it bluntly, it's been a horrible year. Like, genuinely horrible. It's been absolutely trash, to be honest. I think it's probably been one of the hardest years for me mentally, because I've struggled with mental health. I've spoken before on the channel briefly about mental health struggles, but I've never gone into any detail. This year it took a really bad turn, and I've always struggled, and I've had dips where I'll be fine, and then I'll struggle, and then I'll be fine, and then struggle again. And this year was a dip, big dip, and it wasn't just 1 month or 2 months, or a day or a week. It was basically the whole year. Obviously, I had my happy moments. Meeting Harrison at TF Nation, making the videos. I had my happy moments. But there were a lot of dips. I try and keep my channel quite professional, but I also try and keep it personal at the same time. And that's one reason why I struggle getting videos out. And I struggled making stop motions. Because it's horrible when you love something and your brain's just telling you you're terrible at it. So I got diagnosed a few months back with mixed severe depression, anxiety, and also OCD. And I always, it didn't change anything. I always knew I had it. And it still doesn't change how I feel. You know, it doesn't make me feel worse, because I know I had it. It was just undiagnosed. But either way, it was one of the reasons why End of Days Part 1 took so long is because of my OCD. I'm going to give you an example. The big space battle, that would take anyone long anyway because of how much there was going on. But I would see little nitpicks. And this happens, I'm going to give an example of just one like little shot or something, but take this as a broad example for every single shot I do in every scene in every project. So a shot could be perfect, but I would see a little thing, like a tiny little detail, that no one would see. Like no one would see. And in my head, I tell myself I can't release that until it's perfect. And I know perfect's just a bit of an illusion, but in my head, it tells me I can't release it. Although it might look ready, the footage, if I released it, and people might think, wow, it's good, my brain would say, that isn't ready. I released it too early. So I'll fix whatever's bothering me on that shot, and something else will pop up. That's not right. That's not right. And I'll fix them all. That's not right. And you might say, well, if you're feeling like this about one shot, why are you doing the projects? Believe it or not, they're very therapeutic to do. To make a stop motion from an idea, yes, I have claw slippers on. It's therapeutic. It's to have an idea in your head and to make a film out of it where you can watch it on screen. That is something else. And when I get it right, I feel really good about it. Like, genuinely, I feel good about it. But that is one reason why it took so long, because of my OCD, and I just felt like I can't release anything. And I always wondered, are people going to like it? And I make it as well for myself, because I want to make it. This is a story I want to tell. But I want other people to be happy with it as well. You know, I don't want to spend a year on something and then people turn around and say, oh, that's terrible. You don't know anything about Transformers. You know, the stories I tell, a lot of them are also focused on mental health as well. You know, and I've said it before in my Peter Cullen, when I met him, I talked about putting characters in situations that I've been in. And how would that character, like Optimus Prime, react in a situation that I've been in? Would he react the same? Would he react differently? Would he say things? Would he do things differently or the same? How would he feel about it? How would he move on from it? And it's like therapeutic almost. And yeah, it's definitely it's something I'm happy with. You know, I'm happy doing it. And to have a figure and it's just there, and then to actually get it to transform and move on its own on a film, it's just amazing. But my OCD doesn't, you know, it doesn't just affect the project. It's my whole life. It's, especially this year, it's took a toll. And it's, yeah, just, I sometimes find it hard to talk about things because I'm always a person who is offering a helping hand. And I'm not looking for sympathy here. I'm not looking for anyone. You know, I'm not looking for attention or anything like that. But genuinely, I'm the sort of person who will help someone who's in trouble when I'm drowning in my own problems. And I'm quite good at hiding things. You know, if I'm struggling, I'll hide it. Because I don't want other people to worry about me. Because I'm very good at wearing a mask. However, 2024, the mask just fell off. I didn't take it off, it just fell off. Because I just couldn't keep it together. And I know I'm stuttering a lot, just bear with me. It's hard. I'm getting help for it. You know, I'm getting help. So that's something positive. And I am trying to get myself back on track. I really want to, and I said this at the start of 2023, you know, I wanted to get back in my fitness, get back into everything, you know, healthy eating. And I think it's taken a year of just terror and yeah, I think it's taken this year for me to realise what's good for me and what's bad for me. Because it's not just stuff that's happened, you know, inside my head. I've had a lot of external events that have not been great. My dog died. That traumatised me. And when I say traumatised me, I to anyone who's lost a dog, you'll know what I talk about. But I think it traumatised me more than anything. There's two losses I've had in my life that have both had a massive impact on me, and losing my dog was equal to that other impact. I'm not going to talk about that other one, but my dog, I used to be terrified of dogs, like even tiny little dogs I was terrified of as a kid. We got a German Shepherd, one of the biggest breeds, and he genuinely was like a brother. You know, he got me over my fears of dogs to the point where I was running away from little ones, and now I was hugging a big, great, massive German Shepherd. And I've had other things happen with friends and, you know. So yeah, that's why I've not been as active this year. But I'm not taking it as a negative. People who have been, you know, who have either removed themselves from my life or whatever. I've had a few people, few close people. I'm not naming names and I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. But I've had a few people, more than a few, quite a few, who have just sort of left. Or they've done something where it's genuinely upsetting. And you think, why would you do that? You know, 1 minute you're on good terms with someone, and the next minute they do something with, you know, they do something that has massive consequences, and you think, why? So, I've lost three, four really, really good people this year. Not lost as in dead. No. You know, they've gone. Which is fine, because no one needs to give me permission to cut me out of their life, and I don't need to give anyone permission to cut them out of my life. People grow apart, things change, circumstances change, I understand that. As long as they thrive in their life, and I wish them well. Even if I'm not in it, I wish them well. But for me, it's made me realise who I am a lot more. And it's, you know, when you remove someone, or they leave, or circumstances change, it really frees up your time and attention for something else, you know, for dreams and goals and other people who deserve your attention. So this video, I know it's not the best video I've ever done, but I hope it's the most real video I've ever done. And I am still a very positive person, despite what I've said. You know, despite the mental health struggles, I am actually a positive person. I always look on the bright side. I always offer people help. And that's something that I'm trying to recognise myself. You know, I'm not saying that to make myself big or anything like that. I'm saying because I don't say enough positive things about myself, and I'm trying to change that. So yeah, if you stayed this long, I didn't want it to be half an hour. I didn't think it was going to be half an hour, but it is half an hour. If you stayed this long, I really appreciate it. Yeah, 2024, here we come. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. Again, it's the 20th of December. I'm recording this right now, so I've not had Christmas yet. But there's a couple of videos. I've pumped out a lot of videos at the end of December because there was a lot I wanted to get done before New Year. So, yeah. Anyway, let's go 2024. Let's get some stop motions out. Thank you, everyone. Till all are one. Bye, guys.